I am going to start us off here. I wanted to let everybody know, and I hope you will join me and with a little prayer. Scott Lemon on Father's Day, they were visiting their sons in Nashville. A motorcycle accident, but he's fine, but not fine. So he has a shoulder injury, and they're going to find out today whether they need to do surgery or not. So Robin's going to be out. So we're going to just pray for him and make sure that all goes well. Apparently, it's very, very painful. I looked it up. Should never Google things. I Google things all the time. And it's like I looked at it, I go, oh, it showed like the X-ray of what that actual damage is, and it's just like, no wonder, no wonder he's in a lot of pain.
Was he driving the motorcycle, riding the motorcycle?
Yeah, and so I don't know the lingo, but the lingo was laid the bike down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I looked that one up too. Okay, so always look up those terms, and now you know. So anyways, we will definitely be praying for him and his speedy recovery. And Robin is his nurse for the week. All right, come on in, everybody get lunch. Okay, so wanted to start us out. You know what? We always start us out. We don't have a gratitude slide, but what are you guys grateful for? It is almost mid-year. Anybody want to share some gratefulness? I know we've had an amazing weekend. What are they grateful for? Go ahead.
I'm grateful for meeting her. Ready?
Okay, throw it hard.
Thank you.
And I'm grateful that happened because it was
Robin.
really connecting people, right? I mean, they shared a need. I mean, that's what our business is all about, connecting people. They both shared needs. It's like, I'm going, we need to talk,
I'm
right?
grateful for you.
Yeah, well, I'm grateful for you. Awesome. Any? One more? Yes, Tweet.
I'm grateful for Kaya. This is a new agent joining our office.
Welcome. All right. Yes.
I'm Hernandez. This is helping connect me with some people that needed the commercial help, so I want to say thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And boom, that's done.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right, this is a long shot.
Oh.
But do it, just do it. Oh, and I love to stay right here, acknowledging the good that you already have in your life, the foundation for abundance, right? So wherever you are, and this really ties into what we're going to talk about today, wherever you are, there is thankful and abundance, because wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. And it's not where you are in the moment, it's where you're going to take that next step tomorrow or when you leave and the next day. That's kind of what's count, right? Okay, I'm driving. Okay, here it is. Okay, oh God, this is gonna be so fun. I got a remote control. All right. Whoa, sorry. Okay, whoa. Okay, someone take this away from you. First of all, let's have a big thank you to Housemaster. That's the mom.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I made it all from scratch. Y'all got it? No, I'm joking, but Panera's great. So a little bit about us. We are Housemaster Home Inspection. Hey, Sam. How you doing? We're in the all Metro Atlanta area from Atlanta all the way up to Ball Ground. If you have something outside of that area, give us a call. We can probably make it work. We are doing next day right now as well. Okay. And then we're also doing free termite inspections with all inspections right now, if you want it. But in gratitude, talking about gratitude, we're so thankful for y'all. We've been able to grow recently, which has been fantastic. So thank y'all all so much for that. Okay. All right. If y'all need anything, feel free to reach out. Housemaster. Okay. Yeah. So they will come out, they will inspect, they won't treat.
Right. You'll be able to tell us.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, great. First life partner. Got children in the house?
I know I saw Tammy.
Okay,
Tammy.
they're sort of in the house. They're kind of like in our front yard right now.
Oh, what?
Run, hey, let's go.
Oh, I did.
Shoot,
Gotta compete on these two things.
I don't-
Good morning, everybody. great Father's Day to the Father's Day. Fathers in here this weekend. Hope you had a fun one. Hope you had a fun one. Kathy Vitale, for those, if we haven't met, come look around the room.
Tammy Mills. I guess.
Yeah. We are your mortgage team here. We're your alliance partners. So not just doing mortgage, but here for you on any side of the mortgage side. So just remember that. Any questions at all, whether we have the loan or not, if it's yours, it's ours. We will help you through it. The Freddie Mac Rehab Choice Renovation Program. That's the new one. If it's a first-time home buyer, 3% down. If it's a repeat buyer, as little as 5% down. So instead of a normal rehab program where it's 20% down, you can do this with minimum down. You can only go 10% of the sales price in the rehab. But my suggestion is you have a listing, it needs flooring, it needs painting, maybe a little kitchen mini rehab, bathroom. 10% of that sales price, a $400,000 house, $40,000. Go ahead and go to Home Depot. Can only be done at Home Depot or Lowe's right now. Get a contractor to come bid it and do a vision board for the listing. If it's one of those, I mean, most houses are flying off the shelf, but if it's one of the houses that wouldn't, and or the seller maybe could get more money, if this stuff is built in and the vision is there for these buyers, think of it that way. You know, get that good bones house, good lot, good subdivision, but they've done nothing to it and or it's nasty for whatever reasons. Think about it that way. And if you don't do that, you can always just mention it in your subject line, you know, potential rehab opportunity, you know, to get all the pretty stuff done. But yeah, just great program. You actually will close in 30 days. Get the seller out of the way, listing agent, you'll be out of the way, and then the buyers will have the money to disperse to Home Depot or Lowe's as the work gets done. Any questions about that one at this
Is
point?
there a time limit that the work needs to be done?
I think it's 60 days from closing, but Home Depot and Lowe's, that's why it's only those contractors, because they have to abide by that and validate that they can do it.
Is the limit the same as a conventional loan limit?
Yes, so the total limit, you can't go above the conforming loan limit because it is a conforming loan. So I would say to be safe with this program, you know, stay in that 625, 650 range or below. With the numbers is probably the way it's, you know, going to work out. All right, and then self-defense. So for those females and or their 15 or older invites, don't forget to register today if you can. This will be a 2-hour physically and mentally, you going through it. You don't have to do the physical, but it's preferred if you do. If you've got clients that you'd like to just call them, you know, we were talking the other day, I was talking to Roxy and she was going to call clients that she hadn't connected to in a while. There were females that she knew that had college age or high school children, said, hey, you know, come as my guest, you know, I'll send you the registration link. Y'all feel free to do that today. Do some outbound calls, you know, or family members, or just someone that you know, that you're thinking about that would, you know, that this would be good for them. It's going to be a empowering 2 hours. Not going to be really scary, you know, especially for the younger girls, but it's going to be empowering for them to understand how to look at someone, how to respond to someone. If physically they were grabbed, how to get out of that hold in different situations. So it will be very empowering for you and or for them, for any female that comes. This is a SAS program. This is an instructor that's certified. Most of y'all know I'm a black belt. I'll be there too, helping her, but she is certified as an instructor. She does this as her passion, not a full-time job, but a part-time situation. So Ellen's very excited about helping ladies in this. Any questions about that?
Clothing, yes, clothing.
Casual so that you can physically do it, because if you're going to involve and engage at one point, you might be on the ground, another female on top of you, showing how to roll out of it, you know, break a hold, that type of thing. So it's going to be real hands-on. And then we'll talk at the end about the realtor safe thing that I've always taught. We'll go through that too. Any other questions? Tammy, about the Dream Smart, I can't remember the.
Yeah, I went over it.
Okay. It's okay. So Dream Smart is our other new program. It's a program for Dream Start, I keep saying Dream Smart. Be smart if you go through that. It's a great program for the person that has the good credit, the job stability. I'm thinking if they're renting in the 1,500 to 2,000 range and they just can't come up with money. They can get into this house with little to nothing, with all the scenarios working. So think about your first time home buyers, thinking about, you know, they're renting in these high-end apartments. They want to buy a home, but they just can't do that and come up with money or have cash gift from parents.
Kathy, how many people can we invite to the seminar?
As many as you want, we'll fill the room up. We're gonna push the tables out of the way if we have enough, fold them up, stack the chairs and just have the whole room full. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah. My husband, Keith Vitale, I was one of his black belts. I got my black belt in 1980. Keith and I ran a karate studio. My first life in business was 8 years in karate. So I was an administrative assistant for Joe Corley at the Professional Karate Association, traveled all over the world with the Chuck Norrises and the Bill Wallaces, the old guys, you know, with all the full contact fights, pull those together. My husband was he's a 10th degree black belt, you know, top fighter, back in the day. He already does sport karate. And if you go on my Facebook page, you can see the big Velvet Atlanta tournament highlights that I put on there this weekend.
Watch out with that.
I know, do not mess with her. I have no idea. Definitely back down now, I think.
Protect you all.
Thank you so much. Hey, Kurt, come on up, sister.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Kern Schwartz with O'Kelly and Sorahan, so we are your attorney alliance partner. I wanted to talk a little bit about some fraud that's kind of on the rise. You know, when I got in this business, shortly after, we were #1 for mortgage fraud. That was the hot thing. Right now, what we're seeing is seller imposter fraud. So a lot of times, not always, it can be a house, but you see it a lot with vacant land, right? Where someone goes in and pretends to be the owner. They will go so far as to create email addresses that with the actual owner's name, false identification, those types of things. So if you're ever involved in a transaction where something just doesn't feel right, let us know. I passed out a flyer that I got from Alta, from American Land Title Association, which kind of lays out, you know, some red flags that you'll see. A seller that only wants to communicate via text, you know, that you've never actually met, haven't verified their ID, they're out of the state, they're out of the country, their address doesn't match the mailing address on the tax records. Those are just kind of common red flags. And just as a reminder, when you're dealing with, you know, a power of attorney or a trust or something, make sure that, you know, if you're taking that listing, that you're actually talking to the person that owns the property, not just the person that has the power of attorney. If it's a situation where they're telling you, you know, oh yeah, this is, you know, my mom's property, she's got dementia, those kinds of things, you don't know the mother, you know, give me a call. Let's talk about ways that we can actually just verify that everything looks okay, because we don't want y'all to be, you know, caught in a situation where there's fraud going on. And if you need anything, have any questions, same as Kathy, even if we're not closing the transaction, of course, we'd love to close it for you, but please reach out. I'm happy to help you.
This closed in construction with some clients, so it was at a different law firm. And she said that she would check to see what form of title insurance that they purchased. So now my question is, now there's tiers, and
Yeah, so with an enhanced policy, just so you know, this is the new thing that people are worried about too, because you see those ads on TV, right? If it's, we can typically issue an enhanced policy in the residential contracts if it's an individual buyer, not a company buyer. And it's not vacant land, it's got a house on it, it's platted, those kinds of things. We can issue what's called an enhanced policy, and they do have some post-policy coverage for things like a fraudulent deed transfer. So yeah, look, I don't know if y'all saw that lady on the news. It's been probably a year ago in the city of Atlanta, had a property that she was living in, but had moved out because she had a minor fire damage or water damage or something and was gonna get it fixed. And somebody pretended to be her and sold that property. But now if they're getting title insurance and it's enhanced policy, there's probably gonna be some coverage for a post-policy fraud like that.
So what about land though? How far does that take?
So land does not have that same, we cannot issue that same type of policy. So that does not have that coverage in it.
But there is a.
But they can get, yes, they can get title insurance. They just can't get it enhanced. But because it's riskier, right? Because you're not living on it, right? So you don't, you're more inclined to know what's happening. Investment property, so this fraud scheme, we can see a lot with investment property, because typically if they're buying with a tenant in the property, they're gonna be talking about transferring a lease and all that. If they're not worried about transferring security deposits and lease, like your hair on the back of your neck should start standing up.
Back to that other fraud you talked about, how did that, what happened with that? The one you were talking about,
Well, they could sell, somebody can pretend to be the seller, it's an imposter seller situation, and actually sell the property fraudulently. It's usually like, we need to close right now, that's what I said. There's no real emergencies in real estate, especially if it's vacant land, right? If your buyer's not in a hurry, and the seller's like pushing, we gotta close, oh, and I have to leave the country, I'm gonna have to sign documents, or I'm out of state, I unexpectedly had to leave out of state, and you've already only been communicating by text. I'm not saying that it can't be legitimate, it can. But, definitely, talk to us, let us help with that, because we've seen them where they have pretty good fake IDs and.
So then what happened, let's say they just have a normal title insurance policy. So what happens with that?
Yeah, so the property sold. I think I bought a property, but she owns it, so who really owns it? And how do I get
The actual seller, yeah, and they may have title insurance coverage in their policy, but of course, if they don't get it, they're totally out of luck.
So the buyer.
That-
Yeah. Buyer.
Yeah.
So they can't go to court and get it back. If they don't have title insurance, they can't go to court. and get
They
it
can, but there's no coverage for it. It's the way a title insurance policy works. If you have a claim that's covered under the policy, they'll hire a lawyer, pay for the lawyer to defend it. They'll pursue that claim. Good question. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Whenever I think fraud things, I don't know if you are, I'm like on documentaries and Money Read and all those things, and you sit there and go, gosh, I am not even smart enough to do that. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you do that, right? I'm like a legit person, I can barely get through the transaction. So, it's like, okay, that's kind of silly. So, our other alliance partners, Kelly McKinda, is not in the house today. We do have something from Michael Harris for the first time in like ever. So we got to listen to it.
Hello, everyone. My name is.
Wait,
Volume up for everyone?
I was sharing with her what happened last week. Y'all remember what happened last week? Let's see how many people we can get right here, right, Sam?
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Harris with Georgia Natural Gas, and I'm so excited to be joining you all during your team meeting. And I am terribly sorry that I'm not able to be there with you all in person. But I have some exciting news to share with you all, news in which is going to help propel your business even further throughout move season. Some of you all may have heard of our real estate program already. Some of you all may not. But we also want to share with you guys this promotion that we're running throughout move season. So for the month of May, June, and July, I want to share with you all what we're doing in addition to our standard program. So the way our program works is anytime any one of your networks signs up with Georgia Natural Gas, you will receive $60 every single time someone signs up with Georgia Natural Gas using your referral code. Now it can be family, friends, prospects, anyone in your network. They can sign up using your code and you'll receive $60. Now some agents take that $60 and send it back to their client as a housewarming gift, or some agents simply build their business with that money. Now your clients are also taken care of. They can choose either $120 in bill credits or a discounted natural gas rate. All right, so this is the gift that just keeps giving. Us a win-win on both sides. Now, the promotion that we're running for the month of May, June, and July, anytime you have at least 5 enrollments that sign up in a month, May, June, or July, you're able to receive an additional $500 Visa reward card in addition to the $60 that we're already going to reward you with. So again, this is our way of saying thank you. Now, to sign up on the program, you can simply go to gng.com/GNG Hub. Again, the website is gng.com/GNG Hub. You can print collateral. You can see which referrals enrolled. And you're also able to turn on temporary service if you need it for inspection purposes. And if you do that, you're able to receive an additional 50% discount on that connection fee just for turning on and being a part of GNG Hub. Again, this is our way of saying thank you. Again, my name is Michael Harris with Georgia Natural Gas. If you need to get in contact with me, you can email me at michharr@southernco.com. Again, the email address is michharr@southernco.com. I look forward to serving all of you guys, and I guess let's get ready for an exciting season. So thank you all. I look forward to working with a lot of you.
I don't know if we clap for a video.
I know, all right, guys.
Dollars for 5 people signing up. And the great thing is I actually did this when I went to my new house. It was gas. And I told them, hey, I'm getting gas with Georgia Natural Gas. Can I get that $60 deal for myself, even though I'm the agent and the client? And they said, yeah. So they gave me a $60 discount for that. So make sure you're doing it for yourself as well on your own homes.
Okay, I said, yeah, that's actually $800 in 1 month. Okay, awesome, thank you. Okay, moving along. Okay, so these are all the tools that, that we a recap of all the tools. Keller covered, right? Discounted homeowners insurance, earnest and bank shot. If anyone's still picking up an earnest money check, I think I would just literally want to spank you, right? Like, do that. Like hot potato, okay? Everybody, I'm one of them. I have got a horror story on earnest money checks that just make you cringe, okay? Don't touch them. There's no need to touch them, okay? You know how to get to our recorded classes, all the ScottLeroyMarketing.com. You've got all the videos available there too, as well as ProMove, Brand Welcome, and Porch.com. Am I driving? You're driving. Okay, cool. All right, great. Today, is Roxy coming or are you doing it, Mike?
Who, what? Oh,
Whoa, wait.
looking at the self-defense, but no, Roxy will be here.
Okay, awesome. We have Roxy Hernandez in the house doing lead gen. It's gonna be a perfect follow-on to what we're gonna talk about a little bit later. We already talked about the women's self-defense workshop. Whoa, I'm doing it. I'm not gonna do it. Here, you do it. Here you go. Okay, Quantum Leap is on this Thursday. How many have been to Quantum Leap before? Okay. Okay, 2. Okay, awesome. Quantum Leap is like, one of like the flagship courses that we have here at Keller Williams. And the thing is, it's what takes the personal and the business and molds it together. I'm super excited about it because when I first started here today, oh, have you done Quantum Leap? I was like, no, I have not, but now it's here. Yes.
Testimony from those that have been there?
Yeah.
I did it about a year and a half with Dean Rivers,
Uh-huh.
and it was online, like a digital Zoom course, and yeah, it's just really good stuff about, starting with, you know, yourself and being good with where you're at and your business, how they intertwine and. It's a lot of content, it's like a whole day,
It's an all-day thing, 9 to
Yeah.
4.
but it's
Right.
really good, like reset for mindset, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's typically only offered for the young adults, you know, your young adults, your family members, clients and everything like that. So this is a very special one we're having where the agents can attend and it's an adult one, you know, so for you
And
guys,
it's free.
your goals, it's free.
Yeah, come on in. Sam, you want to say something about Quantum Leap?
Yeah, does anyone know what quantum actually means? It sounds like a big word, right? It actually means small, so it's small leap is what it's all about. Quantum Leap was a class created by Gary Gallagher, she created it with his son in mind. The goal is that you want to teach your son John just like life, and the mindset that you know, just get a better human, well-rounded human. So together, really a dynamite force that just focuses on you as growing as a person.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And you know what? We are in business. We are our business, but we are our business, okay? It's a person deep down inside, not just your spreadsheet, okay? That's just the thing you do. So you're the one that's driving. So you're not driving it well. I know it's gonna happen, but that's gonna be my next message. Okay. Great. And we do have Quantum Leap for kids this Saturday. Twee, can you share? I love what you shared with it. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Because your kid went through it, right?
Yes, so I have a 16-year-old, but when he, I guess last year when they offered it, he did not want to go. It's a $5 course on a Saturday. And I didn't give him a choice. I called his best friend's mama, said, hey, send your friend or your son, and they went together. But it has changed my son's life. Like he now reads all business books. He has read Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon, Teach Me to Be Rich. 1 million in 12 months. I mean, he can't get enough content because of the stuff that he picked up from Quantum Leap for young adults. And so my daughter is 14 now, making her go. And when he overheard me telling her that she had to go, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go. So he's going again. He has post-it notes all over his bedroom wall with things that he picks up from these books. And one of them is 1 million by 21.
Nice.
One is Man Up Bro. You know, so if you guys have, you know, young adults, get them to go. If they don't want to go, invite their friend.
Right.
Because it could change the course of the trajectory of their life, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's awesome. I wish my kids were young enough to go. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, this is a perfect touch point for your database, right? To have them invite their children. Okay, and by the way, you can invite clients, I'm gonna say this, you can invite clients to Quantum Leap on Thursday. All right, anybody, you don't have to own a business, it's just life planning in general, right? We also have prospecting like a pro with Chris Melisic this Friday on the New Agent Zoom call. Hit it, Raymond. Okay, great. Sam in the house is gonna talk to us about reviews, and I love, I mean, this is a very timely topic, because, this is another way to touch your clients and build your business as well, because the first thing people do when they have an appointment here and look you up? What do they see?
I don't wanna know, they Google you.
Oh, I look at people all the time. I look at people that I'm gonna interview. I look and see what they're all about, like.
So what
Mostly,
if you're not Googleable, right?
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
dare you Google me, see what happens. Google Sam Jackson, see what you find. It's not me.
yeah, yeah.
No, but thank you for that intro, because I think this is, I wanted to bring this to the team meeting today because this is a topic that just comes up in a lot of my consults, conversations with agents across the Georgia Legacy Group. I notice a lot of y'all are busy and you're working on creating Google pages, and we're mostly doing that because we want to get testimonials, right? Yeah. So what I'd like to teach you today is really, and I want you to pull out your phones. I'm going to share a picture here. I'm going to share a couple of different ways that you can get what I call 5-star reviews. I'm not talking about just like, hey, these are 5 stars in terms of it, but there's a huge difference between a testimonial that is written that says, Sam was great to work with. Yeah, that's great. That doesn't help the next customer, right? What we're going for is really for number 3, but number 2 would be, this is an improvement. Sam did what he said he would do. We closed on time. I'd recommend Sam to all my friends. I don't know what Sam said he would do, right? Right. But number 3 is, hey, I was relocating to another city for my job. I needed someone who could sell my house quickly because I didn't want to worry about a vacant home 600 miles away. Sam eased all my concerns and sold my house faster than I could have ever imagined. That's what we're going for, right? We want a review that tells a story, we want a testimony that tells a story that's a lot more impactful than just 5 stars that says Sam is great. By the way, Carol Pierce is my grandma, so. That'll be great. Thanks for the testimonial. But what testimonials do is they give permission to the next customer to go second. I want you to think about that for a second. That's the goal of a testimonial, is it gives the next person permission to go second. So when we can get a really captivating review like number 3, we're most likely to get these really beautiful testimonials with Illuminate Art. Now, how many of you like really focus on testimonials? Now, I'm not calling anyone out, so please put your hand down, put it in your pocket, sit on it if you need to. Don't raise your hand, but you probably know of someone that says, hey, will you write me a review on Google, Zillow, Facebook, and we just share the link, right? And our question is typically, will you write me a review? Now, the challenge with that, as we all know, people are either too busy to give deep thought into writing a testimonial, or they're not great writers or great at communicating. It's not that they didn't want to write you a great review. It's either they're too busy or they really don't know how to write a great review. So when we send something like, hey, will you leave a review for me? We're doing an injustice to ourselves because we're not really making it easy for our clients to write that review like Carol Pierce did on number 3. So I'm going to share with you is this is an arc of questions that we can submit to our clients that's going to give us really a story inside of a testimonial instead of just let's leave our client hanging in the dark, hopefully cross our fingers so they can write us a decent testimonial. But what I want you to do is start setting something like this along with your links. I don't care if it's Google or Zillow or Facebook, but if you were to send 5 questions to your clients instead of, hey, will you leave a review? You're gonna get something a lot more like number 3 here than you will number 1. I'm gonna pull these up again. Feel free to take pictures. But when I ask, what concerns did you have when selling your home? I want my client to tell me, what did that look like before you worked with me? What did you find as a result of selling your house or buying your house with my team? What specifically did you like about working with me? What would you say to a homeowner who's on the fence? Is there anything else you'd like to add? And we asked this list of questions, 5 questions. You can see that we're going to get an arc inside of that response, right? We're going to see this person go through a story as to their concerns, how I interjected as the hero to the story, and how we ultimately stopped them from going through something kind of terrible with another agent. And if you don't like that one, here's another alternative that has the same thing. What problems were you having before you discovered my team or me as an individual agent? What did that frustration feel like as you tried to solve that problem? What was different about our service or product? Take us, type of there, take us to the moment when you realized our service was actually working to solve your problem. And number 5, tell us what life looks like now that your problem is over or being solved. So again, I would ask you, encourage you to take snapshots of these, type these up, and send this along to your clients when you ask for a review. You're going to get something really special at the end of it, something like number 3, instead of number 1, which was, hey, Sam was great to work with, and not really a dynamite testimonial. Cool. Any questions? Quick, easy. I'll pull this up real quick.
That's
Slow
like the
this.
service.
There, look in the TV notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, send it to your client. So I've done that, those 5 questions or one of those 5 questions along with your links, make it really easy for them.
Okay, and the transaction. On the closing table.
Yeah, that's a great question. So when's the best time to send a testimonial or ask for one?
Have to go under contract,
There's 2 times.
and they go under contract, because when they move, they got a lot of stuff to do, and that's the last thing on them, they got, so send them the links and right after they go under contract, or, once you get through the due diligence.
Yeah, that's Michael absolutely nailed it. I think there's 2 really great times. Well, the first great time is anytime they're happy and they're sharing that there's a great response throughout that process,
Right.
go ahead and ask for it right there. But you also want to do it when emotions are high, where we're going to get a great testimonial. So when you're under contract, it's typically when emotions are high. Hey, we won the bid. We're going to get that house for you. So excited for your dream home. Where you write your review. And then at the closing table, if you can, but again, like Michael said, that one's a little bit busier. So I think you can get ahead of it with the under contract part. And then with that being said, if I'm going to roll that in my system, right? My system for getting testimonials, I would maybe send the most important link that first time and the second most important link that second time. So that would look like maybe my Google review when we're under contract, and then like my Facebook whenever we're closing.
or whatever social media or whatever platform that you find to be most important and valuable to you. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you so much. No, I really love that your timing is simple because I used to do it at closing. And I don't know, it's really super cheesy to do it at closing, number one. And number two, they're stressed, they're moving out. It's like you get the quickie. But when you get them, when they're super excited or you did a great win, you got through an awesome negotiation, they're super happy. That's when you need that, right? Because then they're more inclined to talk about that great thing that you did. I got this one, which I'll never forget. Because it was very, very, very stressful. Everything was falling apart, buyers were walking away. Her husband, wanted to say, forget it, we're out, blah, 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 blah. And, she wrote this beautiful review about how, calm, it was the calmness of it. She kept us all in the field. I mean, she just kept writing. Why? It was super fresh. She was thankful that we still stayed in because she was still in love with the house. Everybody else was not, but she was still in. So that is super impactful. And it's hard, I don't know, it's hard to ask for reviews sometimes. I know that's a difficult thing. And what's the first thing that you hear when you ask someone for a review? Like, what do you want me to say? Right? Or I don't know what to say, or what do you want? I even had people say, would you write it for me? I'll post it. Like, oh my gosh, because they're all separate things, okay? Anyways, let's go on to market update. Here is our market update. So this is pretty exciting, right? We're rolling up a little bit. Is everybody feeling it a little bit? Yeah, come on. So this is very encouraging. I like that. We're going in upward direction, small win.
And people are seeing multiple offers again?
Yep, and we're still pretty constant here. We're already up to 8,500. It was not that long ago when we were in the 7,000. All right, so I think we're feeling the seasonality of our business right now. Let me watch the next one. I'm clicking, like I have no clicker. Okay, so this is why I thought it was pretty exciting. Look, our average sales price has gone up to 526,000. 526, okay? It was not that long ago when it was in the mid-4s, right? So we are seeing, the sky's not falling, the numbers are a little different, right? Our prices are kind of going up, our transactions are going down. So somewhere in the middle, our income gets boggled into that, right? It does. We cannot control the average sales price of homes, but we can control the unit count, because our units are the lead measure that we actually can count. Because it is, sometimes you can get lost in the number of the sales price, which we cannot control, okay? Everything else is, pretty constant, right? Okay, okay, great. So, and then we're talking about, the market is market is very fascinating. Anyone have a good one when someone hears that the sky is falling? The sky is falling all the time. Everybody else think of that sky is falling thing? That, like, did you hear? It's like almost like someone's listening to the different news than I am, right? It's like, did you know that? Well, I go, seriously? Well, did you know we have multiple offers on homes right now? I go, so it might be happening in Idaho. I don't know. But they're taking national news and making it national. So we need to stay hyper focused on what's happening here in Metro Atlanta, what's happening in our backyard, right? So be that market.
We have a
special,
we have a special guest today coming up to tell us a little bit about the commercial market.
Told you, don't let me forget.
Oh, it's okay. So just wanted to do a quick commercial corner. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Catherine Clark. I work with Mark Ellsworth and the team over in the commercial side of business. I've got a few notes down, so I made sure to talk about some pilots we wanted to just give you. So there's about 14 of us on the commercial side in this office. We have a lot of specialties and expertise, but there's a wealth of experience that you can tap into for your commercial needs when you want to. So we focus mostly on helping our clients with multifamily, industrial, warehouse, office, but we also do specialty like convenience stores, gas stations, hotels, etc. There's a big gamut of industries that we cover. So, but a lot of what we do, like to think of it as just like finding the right location for somebody, but it is so much more detailed and oftentimes with zoning and permitting and length of time thing that they take. So we work through all that for our clients, help them with that. Sometimes it needs a special variance, and sometimes these things can take, 3 to 6 months. I've actually recently heard someone talking about a closing they're trying to do, and then the zoning's telling them it's gonna take 180 days to get the zoning done, and after that, it's gonna be another few months to go through permitting, like, what? That's a lot to navigate, and that's sort of where we step in and offer our experience and expertise to navigate those waters for our clients. So if you can take anything away from today, it's just to know that we are, trying to partner with y'all. We're all here to assist you. If you have business owners or investors in your database and you want to engage them on a better full service experience, please send them our way. We'd be happy to talk to them. We're in this corner, but there's people all over the office that can help you. And so if you have any specific questions, come find one of us and let us know how we can leverage that partnership.
Great, thank you. When you're talking to your database, right, who are the business owners that you talk to? Are they doctors? Are they attorneys? Do they own commercial property? Are they investors in commercial property that you don't know about, right? And you hear us say this all the time. Don't be residential, okay? Because it's really a dangerous place to play in. A place there, it's dangerous. You get hurt, okay? Because that's what the expertise is on commercial side. Because it is not, sometimes people will just kind of think, oh, well, I'll help them find it on FMLS. No, commercial property, you can't even see it, okay? You have no access to it and it's super expensive to have that access. And it's, like I said, that's where you need the expertise because it's better to get a handsome referral on a win-win where you did stay in your lane and you did your clients the best job possible than to, get that commission rep. Okay. Great, thank you. Okay, now we get to celebrate May 2023 awards closed unit. Look at all these individuals. Jamie Simpson, Kathy Ray, Melody Bray, Ashley Shelnut, Cynthia, wait, how many of these people in the house? Tatum McCurdy, Ebony Eccles, Adam. Okay, we got Adam. Awesome. Hey, Hernandez group in the house. And the current team, Atlanta Property Professionals, I see them in the house, and Atlanta Property Matchmakers. Awesome. Okay, wow, this is all this is taken individuals, and I'm certainly not going to read all that. But you can see it's awesome because we know in the name of our business listings and why is listing more valuable than other transactions. Leverage, awesome. And they're just so much funner. Okay, listings taken for teams, the Kings and River Wyatt, Real Estate Group, Raydor, and Fernandez Group. Okay, and then Bruce, Atlanta Property Professionals current team and Sarah Sloan team. Those units. And now my favorite part is halftime. Okay. Okay, gotta get everybody in the mood, right? So we just applauded for all those teams and agents for May 2023, right? But it's halftime. We still have another half of the game to go. And if I start going into a sport analogy, y'all should just hit me because it's just not my thing. But what we're doing today, what I want to talk to you about today is we are in halftime, right? June 30th is right around the corner. So I want you guys to start thinking about this now. Okay, and there's one of two ways you're going to go on this. You're either going to be super psyched and super happy because you're exactly where you want to be, or you're going to look at the last quarter and just go, oh, okay, not where I want to be. Again, you can have two different ways you're going to look at it. You're either going to throw in the towel and give up. Now I'm starting to sound like a football coach, right? Or you're going to suck it up and change the difference for the next quarter, the next half, all right? So we're going to talk about what the state of your business is today. This is going to be an exercise, actively. Bring out some paper, a piece of pen, a pen, piece of pen and a paper. What is the state of your business today? Okay, what's the score? What's the score on the board right now? What does it look like? Are you behind or are you ahead? And I want you to be really honest. Nobody's gonna look at your paper. It's just gonna be you, yourself, and you, okay? We're gonna talk about mindset. Do you need to reset you right now before you go back out on the field? Are you okay with what's happening or not okay? All right? What do you need to adjust? We're gonna look at what you need to adjust, what do you need to delete, and what are you missing? That you, okay, I don't know what's happening with the okay. When I talk about a mid-year review, the first thing that comes to my mind, the first thing is mindset and action, right? Where do we get, we get this actually from, which shift task is number 1?
Get real, get right.
Get real and get right, right? It's kind of like, and with that mindset over action. Now, I'm putting up these 3 books. When I think about this, these are the things that come to mind, right? What's the score? What was your goal? And what's the actual, what did you actually do? These are numbers, y'all, right? You set numerical goals and what did you actually do? All right, and I think about the gap in the game by Dan Sullivan. He talks about the gap in the game. So if your goal was this, and you actually performed here, do you look at it as a gap? I'm gonna write it down. Do you look at it as a gap or do you look at it as a, so your goal was here, you actually performed somewhere in the middle, this is where you started from. Are you focused on this, which was your gap, right? Or do you look at the game? Okay. When you think about the gap, how does that make you feel? Those are feelings that are associated with the gap. But if you think about it as the game, what is the thought? So how do you feel about a game? Right, it's positive. You've done something. There was one little step further. You're not down at the bottom. You're not where you want to be, but you were somewhere in the middle. Okay. I also think of halftime reset. This book right here. It takes what it takes. All right. Just so you know, I had to. These are available by Audible. You don't have to read them. But here's the thought. This is what was so important about this book. This guy, he's a coach, Trevor Moawad. Look him up. Neutral thinking. Look up what neutral thinking is. So basically, as a coach, he's a famous athletic coach, of which I did not know who he was. But what I do know about him is this: when those guys, coaches, when they come in for the halftime and their team is behind, you know what their biggest challenge is? To get the team and the athlete to think, to bring them back to neutral. If they are losing, forget about the fact that you're 20 points behind. If they cannot get the team to remember that to start over, it's halftime. You are now in a neutral thinking. Everybody's going to be operating from the negative and the whole. So when you're in the negative and the whole, how far does the win look for you? It's daunting. Come back to neutral. Okay, fine. Whatever happened there, it happened. It's done. Sports, whatever it is. I'm going to go this way and I'm going to go forward and I'm going to win. Okay, now I do have this football analogy because I'm super proud because I just picked it up and I'll share it with you. Anyone who want to share Super Bowl 51? What was so monumental about Super Bowl 51? Come on. Anybody?
No.
That's the Falcons.
Right, Falcons, right? I think at halftime, they were winning 21-3. They were winning 21. How did that game end?
And Brady was.
They lost, right? Because at some point, is it Louisville? I don't even know. It doesn't really matter. They came back to neutral. They were losing by 20 points. They were losing. They did not give up. Okay. So that's my whole thing. Do not give up. So it's grit and determination. Make your bed is another great one. Grit and determination trumps talent. Not saying that y'all don't have talent, but what I am saying is you've got grit and determination. So that will take you way farther than any amount of talent that anybody has, right? You know. Okay, so get real, get right. This comes straight out of, some of these questions come straight out of MRAA, page 176, right? What was your goal? What was your original goal? Ask yourself, was it realistic? Was it a realistic goal? Did you say you were gonna do 100 units this year? But yet the best year you ever had, you never sold more than 10? I mean, right? I mean, is it realistic? It's great to have dreams. But was your goal realistic? Was it built on hope and a dream, or was actually built on a plan? It's totally great to have awesome goals. But do you have a plan that actually could have achieved that goal? And it's all a numbers thing. If your goal was 100, how many appointments did you need to make that? How many calls? Did you have all those numbers in your head? Or did you use the same plan that you did to achieve 10 to get to 100? Does that make sense? Okay. What was your goal? How did you do? This is when you have to get real honest with yourself. How did you do? Because the game is not over yet. It is not by any chance in imagination. And then this is really what's important. How do you feel about that? How do you feel right this second? When you're looking at your goals and where you are in them, how do you actually feel about that? Do you feel good? Do you feel bad? Do you feel ambivalent? See where I'm going with that? Okay. I'm asking all these questions. I'm going to have some guest speakers come up in a minute and share what they're planning to do. So when you're thinking about your second half game plan, because that's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about making adjustments, because whatever has those activities and whatever the plan was in the first half of the game, is it going to serve you to get to the second half? Right? There's a couple of things you can do. You can just adjust your goal. Just say, okay, I'm gonna let that one go, right? And there's all kinds of reasons to do that. Maybe some life changes have happened in your life that was not anticipated. Maybe you've got now a sick parent to take care of. I don't know. So you might have to adjust your goal, all right? So based on how you did and what was your goal, what do you need to do now? Are you doing what you need to do? Ask yourself that. And when you're looking at your plan, did you actually do it? Did you actually work it? And did you not? This is where you have to be really honest with yourself, right? Or do you need to improve your skill? Is there a skill that you could have improved? For example, you had a certain number of phone calls to make, a certain number of contacts to make, right? Certain number of appointments. Did you time block? Did you actually make those contacts? Or was it a conversion rate? I made all the contacts I was supposed to make. I have all the number of contacts I needed in the database. The numbers should pan out, right? But yet it does not. So maybe that's a skill set. That's a skill. You're not converting because the conversion rate isn't what it needs to be. Does the market require more? Because of our market today, we do know this, right? We've got less inventory. How many of you are pretty much doing the same activity you did last year, but yet don't have the same outcome? I say, right? Because our market is harder today. We need to make more, there's actual data on that. We need more contacts need to be made to yield the same conversion rate and result we had last year. Because we don't have a 1-for-1 ratio anymore. 2021, 2022, how many of you thought if you got the listing, I will sell it, right? It was a one, I did, if I got it, done. It's gonna be done. Today, not so much, right? We've got fallout in contract. So we have to compensate for the fact that our market is harder today. Okay. And I'm also gonna ask you when you're looking at your second half game plan, I want you to remember what your why was. When you made out your plan for 2023, you had a why in there, right? Why do you have a real estate license? Why do you have a business? Why? Is it to put your kids through college? Is it to pay the rent? Why? Because that why is what's going to propel you forward. If you don't have a really great why,
And you just, I picked that number because that was in the sample template of the 411 when Ann gave it to me. Like, why did you pick 24? Because it's always 24. No, that's not your why, right? It's not tied to your why. Remember it. And also think about your small wins. Small wins are just that. It's progress. If you took one step further, 1% better, it's that. And you are at least going in the right direction and you're not sliding back. If you can just hang on to that. Sometimes when I've got calls to make and it's just like, it's like, okay, well, can I at least do one call better than yesterday? Just one, okay? Because that will compound on itself. And in a couple weeks, couple months, that one starts to add up, right? And I love this, 42% versus 80%. Anybody knows what that number is? When you make your goals and you make your plan, if you write it down, really write it down, not just think it, really write it down. So 42% chance you will hit them, 42. If you have an accountability partner and I tell you what my plan is, and I'm accountable to you, Tristan, what my plan is, I now have an 80% chance of completing it. Anybody have an accountability partner in their life? What does that mean to you, John?
It's what all my business forward for the past years.
Absolutely. I mean, when I have an accountability partner, the fact that literally, it's like 5:30, it's like, I am not gonna report that do you know what I mean? It's like that, it's silly. Wouldn't it have been enough that I made the goal? No, the fact that I got to report to somebody what I did, that was enough. Are they gonna beat me up about it? No, they'll probably laugh. But it's the fact that I have to report. So don't underestimate that. If you don't have an accountability department, let's get one. All right, second half game plan. Lead gen. Everybody loves lead gen, right? Liar. Okay. Ask yourself, what other value can I add to my database that you're not already doing? What events can I be doing? What that I could be leveraging? Local businesses, what local businesses can I partner with and leverage that are going after my same contact? Workshops, I'm a big proponent of workshops. I know you've heard me, I'm actually gonna be working on getting them like financial planners, estate planners, attorneys, people who alongside you, right, adds to your credibility and you add to theirs, okay? New ways to meet people. I heard this story, I think it was on a pivot show called New Ways to Meet People. She loves paddleboard. So she goes and she joins a paddle, whatever, boating club thing in her area, right? All of a sudden she has met all these people, right, that now know her as a real estate agent. It wasn't that she got on the paddleboard and said, hey, I'm a real estate agent. You know, do you want to buy or sell real estate? It's just getting into a relationship with people she never would have met, doing something that's fun for her, right? Finding the motivated through life-changing events. Greta, I know, does a really great job with that. She focuses on the divorce market, right? Does events and educational opportunities with that. Focusing on life-changing events. And take a look at your time block. Are you really honoring your time block? Yeah, my time block is really pretty colors that sometimes I put things on top. Do you put things on top of your time block? Don't lie. You know what I'm talking about. It's blocked, but you're gonna put an appointment right on top of it. Why? Because you're letting current business get in the way of new business, right? So honoring the time block. Okay, right now I'm going to bring on some of our ALC members to the front of the room because I'd love to hear from, have them share with you some of the things as they're looking at their second half game plan. Okay, Dr. Yeah, come on, we're talking about this. Have you all come up? Just
Get up.
share with, introduce yourself and share kind of, how many years you've been in business. Where's Adam?
You ran out.
Grace, Rhonda, come on, calling you out. Okay, because I got a chair,
Yeah, and then Adam has.
Okay, ladies,
Hit it, Twee.
Hi, I'm Twee Burchett. I have been in business for a little over 2 years. And in the 2 years that I've been here, I've just really delved in and partnered with so many amazing agents and learned so much. And I'm happy to pass along anything that I've learned to anybody else who has joined or, want to refresh or new ideas.
I am Heather Hare and I am in my 4th year, 4 years at Keller Williams, 3rd year at this location. Again, I have partnered with so many amazing agents within our group. And like Twee, we're pretty passionate about the babies and kind of raising them to be the top 20%. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out.
I'm Deborah Bloomfield. I've been with Keller Williams 6 years, 3 years in this office, and I'm on the Atlanta Property Professionals team in the back corner. And we're always here for any questions. If you want to understand what goes on in a team or what goes on in anything, I'm here. So.
I'm Cynthia Williams. I've been in the industry 10 years and started with KW, left for a little while, came back. So don't waste your time doing that. I can tell you all about it. And I definitely, been in the business long enough to do this in my own individual business. And I just sat down with some folks last week and we kind of said, okay, this is the middle of the year. This is halftime. Where are you trying to go? And it's really eye-opening to do that. And I definitely need a reset. So this is perfect.
I'm Reina Tayara. I've been for 2 years in this office, been in the business for about 10 years. Start here and you will gain more. We are halfway in the year, but wherever you are in your business, it's never too late. You can always push the reset button and it is all in the mindset. Whatever you set your mind to do, you can achieve it. If you tell yourself, I'm gonna do 100,000 this year, you will do 100,000. If you tell yourself, I'm gonna do 500,000, you can do it. And the biggest challenge that each one of us face is we are our own component. We set our own limit, and we just need to set ourselves free to really do our potential.
Growth mindset. Yeah. Okay, ladies,
You can come right in the middle.
red one.
Adam Sobel, I've been licensed since 2014, but full-time since 2017, when I really kind of started doing it full-time, so, 6 year in the business.
Okay. So you've seen action.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you guys, all right, so the second half, right? What are you what have adjustments that you had to make looking at the first half of the year? What are you doing? What do you see yourself having to do second half? Like, if you can share specifics on new things that you're doing, that would, you'll get a bonus point for that. Go.
If you know me personally, you know that I run this really fun circus at home. We have 6 kids, 2 grandchildren, 3 dogs, busy career, whatever. I travel a lot and I was really in a slump about, I don't know, a month or so ago. And I was like, my business is not producing. I'm not holding up to what my goals were, what I was setting for myself. And I was just really at just the self-talk. You want to talk about like resetting your mindset. I was really not in a good place. So the first thing that I did was hired a coach again. I did hire Anne, and Anne has been, I know myself and I know that I do better, back to the accountability partner, that when I have someone to answer to, that I will perform better. It's not that I'm not a self-starter, it's that I'm a squirrel and I get distracted by just every damn thing that is thrown my way. You want to talk about like stacking things on top of your important stuff on your calendar, I don't just throw my calendar out the window. So started with hiring Anne, and I was like, listen, I gotta give you a heads up. I'm a little bit of a mess right now. And she has been just so wonderful at resetting my mindset around things and structuring, like reminding me, because I don't care how long you're in the business, most of us need reminders. She's reminding me, like, why are you doing this? What do you want for your business? What do you want for your family? What do you really want? Where is the importance? And making me dig back down deep into that. So I am, so I travel a lot. So my next trip is at the end of July, and I'm like, I've got so much work to do in this like 12 weeks that I'm here. So I am really, 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 really batting down the hatches. We talked about a couple of things, and within, I don't know, maybe like a week, I landed the biggest deal of my career. We just finished. I ended our due diligence yesterday. It is by far the biggest deal I've ever had. It's 1.25. It's not that I'm not capable, it's just that I'm so distracted so often. And so, you know, it's just, I will say that's the number. First of all, you have to feel the pain. You have to feel the pain in such a way that you need to like make a move, right? Because if you're not moving, you're just staying in pain. And that's like really, you know, whether it's emotional or mental or physical or whatever it is, it was for me personally, because I thrive with working, it was almost crippling. So I was feeling that pain so much. I had a literal, like, almost like, I don't know what, it was like an impromptu meeting with Ann, and I was like so impressed by the things she was saying. She wasn't even saying them to me. And I was like, all right, and I sat with it for a couple of days, and then I called her and I'm like, do you coach top 20? Because I'd really like to talk to you. And so we did. And so it's making the move. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I want to piggyback on what Heather said, because if you've been in the business long enough, and even if you haven't, I know for me and a lot of us up here, it is very up and down. And when you're on a high, you're on a high, and I'm rocking and I'm rolling. But then if I'm not doing the business, I get in that place, and it can be crippling. And I just want to say, it's okay to sometimes feel this is hard. Like, this is a hard business. It can be a lonely business. Like, it's okay to feel those things, but don't, with myself, you can't stay there. If you want to have a pity party for 24 hours or 48 hours, whatever, go ahead and do that. But you've got to snap out of it. And if you cannot snap out of it, you've got to do something like get a coach or get an accountability partner. And it may be as simple as just kind of connecting with one of us or somebody here in the office and just sharing ideas. You know, what are you doing? How are you doing this? And I will say that what I'm seeing for myself, and you alluded to that in one of your slides, I'm having to work a lot harder at things that used to come very easily. I get all my businesses referral, and because, you know, a lot of people are not moving, you know, they're based on different reasons. In my sphere, I'm seeing that those referrals that I typically so easily get, they're not coming as frequently. So that tells me I've got to go back to the basics. I've got to get on the phone. I have to make the calls. I have to do the touches with my database, whether that's let's have coffee, let's have lunch, or dropping by their house and providing something of value. So it's a lot more contact, more of a contact sport for me than it has been previously.
I agree. A lot more calls and stuff and touches, personal touches, lunches. I'm switching lunches to coffees because it's cheaper and.
So I feel like we have two sections. So I have the SOI, right? So your SOI portion, I feel like that we have a database for that. We have a 36, 500, 55, 60 touch, whatever you want to call it. We have our events for that. We touch them before the events, during the events, after the events. So that part, and like you're saying, what referrals we're getting out of it, that's one section of the business. What I feel like I have to focus on is the other half, and that is listings or leverage. So we have a listing, we hold the open houses. So we're spending our Sundays or Saturdays there. We're door knocking for Thursday and Friday before. So we're door knocking. We've met all those people. After we go under contract quickly and get through due diligence, we take a flyer and we go door knock the neighborhood. We have extra buyers and who's the next person to sell. So I'm putting in all these hours, or the team is putting in all these hours. I've done it with Kim, I've done it with Markia. we're spending this time, and then where are the people? Okay, so there's like two different sections. I feel like one part is flowing and the other part we're spending time on, and if we're not following up, what is the point? And we know as realtors that they're not going to respond to us the first time or the second time, that we have to be in contact with them 8 times, 10 times, so on and so forth. So what do we do with all those people? So I have paper. And I have paper. And folders and paper. So it's getting them into our other system, which is the follow-up system for that. Putting in the task, putting in the reminders, and putting it in our calendar. So right now I have them in my calendar every Monday and Wednesday afternoon. I just have blanket every Monday and Wednesday afternoon. I'm gonna do that. And you know what happens?
Gonna do what?
Touch those people.
Okay, yeah.
And in that database, just work on that database.
Are you writing them on paper? You sending like smoke signals or?
But I have it in the calendar on Monday and Wednesday afternoon, and then Monday comes along and I book something else on top of it, and Wednesday I book something else on top of it. And I know that they tell you, do not blanket the calendar like that, like wake up on Monday morning and say, when do I have time to do this? Don't just put it in the calendar for every Monday, Wednesday afternoon, because I blow right past it and I go, yeah, I'll do that another day. So I feel like I've got a wealth of people here that are just dropping. Like
And so now you need to put them in your system so you can methodically
Yes.
touch base with them.
Yes, my second system for those people. So that's what I'm concentrating on, the second half. The first half is rolling along. It's the second part of the equation that I really need to work on. Otherwise, don't spend those Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays and stuff. Because you're wasting your time. If you're not following up. Yeah.
And if you're tired, you should be. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. But anyway, that's my focus. The second half is working on these people and not dropping them.
So basically, definitely across the board, more people in the database than we ever needed before. We need to contact and nurture those people even more than we've ever. So really, it's not a food, as you said, like a 570 touch, I don't know.
Double down.
Right,
everybody.
double down, right? And not giving up on that. Anything else you guys want to share on anything? Are you guys doing any new kind of lead gen, like events, reaching out, outreach things that you've never done before?
So I personally don't do events, but something I have been doing is my social media, just trying to, not just for content purposes, but like, how can you read it? Like, how can you read? Like Facebook is all family and friends and other realtors and people I know. Social Instagram is, people that I don't know, and that's fine too. But really like, what is it, like the law of 5 likes, 5 comments, where
Yeah.
what is it? 5 likes, 5 comments.
Five private
private
messages.
Yeah, so really just trying to like connect with people. I'm not one of those people who slide into the DMs because I feel like that could be a little creepy, but like if I have something to say, I'll say it on a comment or, whatever, but I'm just really kind of like taking that. And also whatever I do post on Instagram, which is really real estate based, kind of pouring it over into my stories on Facebook. And then I get all these comments and people in my inbox and like chit chatting. So it just starts all the conversation. So if you have social media, be friendly on it, talk to people, stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to get.
Because that's a large audience,
Yeah.
like from your couch.
And I have a piece of advice for anybody new or newer or not new, because this is advice to myself 10 years in. Don't wait 10 years in to do what I'm about to tell you. Start farming now. I thought, well, I don't want to farm because I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm going to wait till I'm experienced and then I'm going to farm. I'm 10 years in and I should have more recognition in my demographic area where I live. And that's no one's fault but my own. I get a lot of referral business, but I should have more name recognition. So my advice to anyone getting started, don't wait. Start farming now because farming takes time. Farming takes a minimum of 18 months to really see the results. And start now and start the other piece of advice, and Sam will love me for this, I think, your database. Get your database in a system. It doesn't matter what system it is, but it has to be a system or you cannot methodically communicate with them which is what you're talking about. So don't wait on those two things. Don't. And I know farming takes time and money. And that was another reason I thought, well, I'm going to wait till I make more money. There are ways to farm that aren't necessarily expensive, like 4th of July. What I do in my neighborhood is luckily the little parade for the kids starts in my cul-de-sac. And I set up a mimosa stand for the parents. I give out flights to the kids and do some fun things. You know, it's literally, it costs me nothing. A couple cheap bottles of Costco, you know, Prosecco and orange juice. And then I drink the rest. No, I'm just kidding. Bottles and like we went through too. Like it's not an expensive thing to do. Flags are very cheap. I have flags left over from last year that I'll reuse this year. Things like that. Easter egg hunt. Yeah, exactly. Easter egg hunt this year. The neighborhood planned it. All I said was, hey, would it be okay if I get an Easter bunny and have a photographer come do photos? I paid my college daughter, who is a film major, to take photos. I had a friend's daughter dress up as an Easter bunny and gave her $50. And then after it was over, I went on Canvas Champ and had canvas photos of the kids and the bunnies printed for literally $5. They looked so good. Then put that in mailboxes. So those are simple ways. And if you don't live in a neighborhood, that's okay. Identify an area where you want to sell and start farming that. You don't have to live somewhere to farm it. That would be advice. That's awesome. Thank you.
I have a little bit of advice for
Yeah.
some people. A couple. One, don't overthink it. Like you will sit all day in your office wondering all kinds of things. Just do it. If anybody's taking Melba's class, just do it. Okay? Yeah, do it. Two, lead generation. Like I know the thought of picking the phone and calling people is not your thing. That's fine. There are so many ways to lead generate. You've heard several up here. Door knocking, hot buys, identifying, there are people for sale by owners, expired listings, but really starting, someone said SOI, for people who don't know what that is, it's your sphere of influence. Call the people who already know you and love you and trust you and who are gonna be your biggest fans, and identify who those people are, because you find out who really are your biggest fans, and let them be your champions. Like a lot of my business come actually from my husband and people he knows, because he can't stop talking about me. His secretary's daughter, his, you know, like people that he meets at parties, like find out who your people are who love you and cannot get enough of you, and ask them, hey, would you just, if you're ever in conversation, identify who's just had a baby and might need a bigger house, whose baby just went off to college and they're needed downside. I mean, there's so many different ways to get business in this business. So identify what you feel comfortable with, because if you're only thinking that lead generation is picking up a phone, then, and you're not gonna do it. You're gonna sit there and waste your time, and, you know, so find something that works for you. What I do, what I'm big on is appreciation marketing. I love my people and people who show me love and referrals. So I will be taking out to coffee, for lunches, for dinners, whenever people connect me to each other. Like, let's say I closed a transaction and I met the next client because of that couple. Guess what? We're all going to dinner. We're all celebrating that we got this new person under contract because of these, you know, and it's just the love fest. So find those people, and do that, you know, do what makes you happy, what makes you comfortable, and you'll see it coming. Just keep doing it. Consistency is so key in this business.
I wanted to say one, we do Popeyes, and it happens to be one of my favorite things. So we have like little trinkets or whatever we are, but I carry them in the back of the car. And I popped by somebody I know from my kids and so on. And I had a conversation I wouldn't have had on the phone. And that is, I never thought of you for all my physical therapists that are starting to look for first-time home buyer houses and stuff. Like, I never thought of you for this. But I wouldn't have had that 20-minute conversation in the front lawn while she's gardening and relaxing and I'm sitting on the grass and I'm popping by her house. Would never have had that conversation on the phone. Hey, how are you on the phone or whatever? It never would have gotten to that level that it did belly to belly, popping by and being in their face. So when they talk about belly to belly and being with people, totally different experience. And just by popping by their house, the little thing, saying hello started a whole big conversation. So do what feels comfortable, right? If I was sitting in my house and making 10 phone calls that day, I wouldn't have those conversations with the 6 Popeyes that took me an hour or 2 to do.
I vouch for that. Belly to belly is so important, face to face, right? People are more prone to talk to you because they can read your body language, they can read your face, vice versa. for me, the phone is just such an awkward thing. I'm like, I'm sorry, you were gonna talk, it's just the most awkward. And so I don't wanna do it, like, I do not wanna do it, but to call someone up and be like, hey, do you have, availability next week that you could catch coffee? Sure, yeah, let's do that. And then, you kind of preset it and you're like, before you get there, say, before you get there, not when you're there, but say like, I have an appointment at 12 o'clock, I've got to be out of here at like 11:30. This way it doesn't, because we can run over. I think we're all extroverted people and we probably like to talk a lot. So we have to kind of, put the borders around the time that we're giving to ourselves and other people too.
Thank you.
So what's your plan for the second half?
Focus on how do you gonna get business? Do your 135, okay, I'm gonna focus on my sphere of influence. What am I gonna do with them? Is it enough just to do a monthly newsletter? Do I need to meet with them in person? Do I need to call them? Do I need to invite them to my event? Have it planned out, put it on a paper, look at it every single day and see, am I on track or not? And what am I focusing on? I'm focusing on my sphere of influence. What else? I need to have at least 3 ways to get leads. Sphere is one. What are my 2 other things? And pick up stuff that really you enjoy doing. So if you do not enjoy doing cold calling, don't do that. If you enjoy the door knocking, do that. There's so much material to get better at doing it. But identify 2 different stuff that you can do every single day, or at least on a weekly basis, and you can keep doing it because you enjoy doing it. If you add something that's not very keen to your heart, you're gonna drop it. So just do some brainstorming. What am I gonna focus on? Put it, print it somewhere, keep changing it if needed. Nothing is set in stone, and always be accountable.
I love that.
We didn't hear from some of the guys. Adam. But are you still doing that? Have you changed it up? What is this new process?
I am, so we did one in the spring that was at the Mansell House, which is over by Wills Park. We hired like a mobile bartender and she did like a cocktail class. So we had like 20, 25 people and I just got Publix to cater it, which was really affordable. And then, she taught them how to make 2 different cocktails and they had like full recipe cards to take home and she brings like all the barware and stuff. So that was the spring one. And then for the fall, we did this last year, we're gonna do a car wash event. So people sign up with Sign Up Genius to come and get their car detailed here in the parking lot. And then I have like a little tent with food. And I like that one because that's like more one-on-one, like they sit down for 20, 25 minutes while they're getting their car wash and eat. And so it's a good way to reconnect with people. But yeah, I mean, client events, definitely doing that one. And then, I would say one thing I've switched up this year, I feel like in years past, I've been trying to do too many things. And so I'm not doing anything well. And so kind of focusing on 2 or 3 strategies and just like really going all in with those is the way to do it. Cause you get better at it and then consistency and repetition. And like they were saying, if there's something you're doing that you don't enjoy doing or like really dread doing, don't do that anymore.
Yeah, you're not gonna be great at it.
Cause I don't think you're ever gonna get to a point. Like I used to call expireds and for sale by owners and I was like, I hate this and I'm not good at it. So I could keep doing it and not, maybe get a little bit better at it, but it's never gonna be something that comes naturally or that I'm gonna enjoy doing. And I'm probably not gonna be working with the people that I wanna work with either. And so, I would just say, this market is tough and it's shifted, there's less transactions, but there's still plenty to go around. So
People are having to buy, having to sell.
people, it's a big city. So.
I want to say that at the last Chart Masters, Leslie said, for many people, this will be a hard year. And for some people in this room, this will be the best year they have. And that I am a person who just laminates on things or laments on things. And that was one of the things. So we all have a choice.
Sounds real, do. Oh my God, that's a great.
I do have one more piece of advice too, for new and old. you can never get any worse at this, but if you're not scripting every day, or at least getting into a room with people who are scripting, like, if you guys can learn what to say, not memorizing scripts, but like getting into a conversation, real estate conversations and being skillful at that, it is like the key that opens all the doors, because then you're never afraid to talk to anybody. Like, this is the only business where you walk out in the world and literally every single person you come into contact with is a lead. Because everybody needs to live somewhere, and if they don't have to live somewhere right now, they know someone who does, you know what I mean? So if you are skillful at what you're saying, I would highly, highly recommend getting with a partner and script practicing with a partner, or joining some, there are various calls available. And if you need some suggestions, find me, I'll let you know which ones that I've tried out and like, but it feels like a key, because you're never afraid of having a conversation because you know exactly what to say.
I love that. Every single person is a lead. I've even heard of other realtors using another realtor for their spouse to find a house. So even other realtors can be leads, right?
Except for her husband, who's had. So I wanted to end with, God, we just got a lot of information here today, right? Any
Yes.
ahas out here? I mean, we
Question?
went through a lot today on mindset and action. Any ahas out there? Oh, you all that you want to share? All right, get to it, fresh out.
I got another ha-ha from the SOI, because that's my strongest point. I'm blessed to have a leadership role in at least 3 organizations. But I don't use them.
That's
Oh,
huge.
yeah.
So. that would
Don't be a
big.
secret agent.
Exactly.
And John just said something, say it again, John.
You have to have a plan. You have
to Yeah.
write this down and stick to it.
Yeah, you can't just say, I'm gonna, and I think that was on one of your slides, like,
Right.
I'm gonna do such and such. I mean, it's gotta be planned and systematic.
Intentional, you gotta look at it, like stare at it, like Post-it note it on your refrigerator, okay? What I thought was really consistent, I don't know if you guys noticed, there was something that they all said that was pretty consistent, and these are, top performing agents here. Don't do something, don't put something on your plan when everything you do, okay? It's just gonna make you feel like, okay, because it's not, well, just as Adam said, it's like, I don't like it and I suck at it. So I kind of, and this is what comes to mind. I'm gonna take this into a different context. How many of you ever have to try to lose weight? All right? You really- Great plans, right? You run 500 miles, eat like 3 calories, right? There's a list, but I always know what I do. I go through the list of things like, I'm not running 5 miles, so let's get that out of the way. What are the things I can do? I can walk 2 miles. I can do that. I can stop eating carbs. I will not stop drinking. I mean, it's like, so. But then you do it and you figure out your plan. So what's the plan? Okay?
I gotta add
would be
one thing.
lying to myself if I said, yeah, I'm gonna run.
I gotta add one thing. That doesn't mean don't push yourself out of your comfort zone. And I'm doing a couple things now to push myself out of my comfort zone with my business. I hate to network. I legit hate to go to a networking event and small talk and, blah, blah, blah. It's like, ugh, it absolutely drains me. But I really thought, what do I hate about it? And it's a small talk and the surface level. So for me, it's like, okay, I like relationships. So go to these events, get to know a few key people, and then form relationships. And I think you're in a great position. If you're in a leadership role in those types of places where you can network and you love that, that is a gold. It's a gold mine. So I do think we can't say, oh, I'm never gonna make a phone call. I hate phone calls. I mean, we do have to push ourselves, but I do think, focus on what you're innately good at because you're gonna excel at that.
And double down on that. So if I'm gonna walk, if I can do 2 miles, I'll walk 5 miles. I'll
Yeah.
walk 10 miles. I just won't be running. And if you ever see me run, you'll know why. If you're in trouble walking, man, just walk all day long. Okay? All right, great. And so what I wanted to leave y'all with.
I just add one last thing, Roxy will be here at 2 o'clock to go in depth with
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of those great ideas, but then also some other things that we do. But I just have to reiterate, it's passion. You don't, you gotta have, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, then there's no purpose. So you have to be passionate. So find what you like to do. and come to the class, because it's not on Zoom, but it's a lot of great stuff that.
Yeah, that'll be a great
Yeah,
class.
we did
I
definitely
think it's
wanna-
1 o'clock, 1 to 2:30.
Because it's
Oh.
1 to
Yeah.
2. Now, you just gave me a little more attack, just a little bit. Like, what? Okay, what are we?
So if you're taking the class, stay.
I have just one more final thought. We talked about all the things to do as far as like work, but I think it's equally important to take like a day off every once in a while. Because there's been days that I've worked, 21 days straight, and you just feel like really burnt out and awful and exhausted, and you're not able to serve your clients at a high level, and you're not.
But schedule it. You
Yeah.
gotta make sure, 1 day a week, 1 3-day weekend a month, and
So
1
1,
week
3,
every
7.
quarter.
Yeah, 1, 3, 7, something like
And the
that.
world keeps turning without us.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And build relationships with each other so you can take a break. If you wanna take a vacation, you have a wonderful partner who will show your clients houses, like, use each other. It isn't, if you're an individual agent, you're your own person, but I just thrive on building relationships with people and I wanna help them and give back, but knowing that they'll do the same for me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have that here. I've been at other brokerages that, I think I told you that, would walk over my dead body. Okay, it's not like that here, okay? So don't capitalize on it. That's why you're here.
But whatever level you're at, you still have an underclassman. So you
Always.
can take that person and say, hey, would you be able to show a house for me, and let them know like how you treat your clients? And then you're kind of giving them, you're mentoring them. You may not even realize it, and you're getting this favor. There's always gonna be someone who's just starting. You're not always gonna be like new. Even
Right,
if you're
no,
2 weeks, there's somebody who's here for a day.
The only person
You know what I
new
mean?
here is Neil. Just kidding. We're all gonna be new.
There you go. There you go.
You'll be a
You put him right on the spot there.
Okay, great. So I don't want to leave you guys with this. Okay? This is part of my little halftime speech right now, okay? Because what you do in the next 90 days, okay? Does at the end of the year seem a long way from now, doesn't it? It's not. Because what we do later today and tomorrow, in the next 90 days, that's gonna determine what your end of year results are, because that's our business, right? To get that client that's gonna close in November, December, you gotta be talking to them, they're in your database today. You just don't know it, okay? And then you get to decide. Here's the thing, I think it was, you said that. Are you at that point? You have to get to that pain point. My pain point is when my jeans don't come on it, okay? And it's like, all right. we gotta do something. Okay, so are you there yet? Your jeans not get on? Okay, so, he is, I mean, it's not, we talk about a lot of complicated things, it's not. Right now, this second, it is just one thing, it's you making a decision on what you're gonna do, okay, tomorrow. Are you gonna sit down and look at your last, your half-year review, are you gonna do it? Are you gonna ask yourself those hard questions? Are you gonna adjust what you need to do going forward? Are you? Because no one's gonna ask you about it. I mean, I might, if I see, I'll say, hey, Mary Nellie, did you do it? But you have to decide to take action, because we're gonna start in your head, right? We gotta get in the right mindset. You got that taken care of. Now you have to do the action. All right? Awesome. So I got a video. I found one. Here we go. And it's not some athlete yelling.
What force has the greatest influence on us? It is the freedom to choose.
What changes our whole life is action. Why don't we take action? Fear. What we gotta do to get ourselves to do it? We gotta make sure that we push ourselves through it by making a decision. The point in which change happens is a decision. And people go, what does it take to change? Decide. You go, oh, God, sounds so simple and so basic. It was that easy to already have done it, Mr. Robbins. No, it is that easy and you're still not doing it because you are not putting yourself in a state to decide. See, a real decision is not like a preference. It's not like when you say, I'll try it and see. That's not a decision. Decision comes from Latin. It means like incision, to cut off from. Decision is when you cut off any possibility except the thing you're committed to. It's like, that is it. All change happens with a choice. You want to change your body? Change it by making a decision. I know it sounds overly simplistic. I know it's 100 times harder than that, but that's where it happens. People shit all over themselves. I should fall through. I should spend time with my kids. I should do this thing at work. Shooting doesn't change it. When it's a must, human beings find the way. It's a must when you say, I'm burning the boats. I'm talking about a real decision where you will not go back. You want to take the island? Burn the frickin' boats. Take action. Follow through. Take the steps that are necessary to take an idea and translate it into reality. By one decision, you can start using your power. You can start following through. You can take this idea in your head and turn it into physical reality. Whether that idea is how you want to make your relationship, or how you want to influence your children, or the kind of money you want to make, or a business you want to start, it doesn't matter. It is available right now. All you do is decide and then follow through. Then go, but Tony, what if I do all that stuff and it doesn't work? Guess what? You'll learn something. The question is not, is it possible for you to be a millionaire? Is it possible for you to have all your dreams become a reality in your lifetime? Yes, it is possible. But the real question is, have you made the decision? Once you make a decision and you go all in and you say, I ain't quitting until I get there. I ain't giving up. I ain't giving in. I'll do whatever it takes to be successful. And when you make that decision, when you look you in the mirror, when you tell yourself that, look, I'm through, I'll do whatever it takes, I guarantee you, that's the day your dream begins to happen.
Thank you, AOP. You guys would go out and go into the live. Thank you, you're welcome. Hey, don't forget to pray for Scott, yes? Pray for Scott. Don't forget.